So welcome to another one of our shipping videos. This has kind of become an even bigger thing than before, and it's been very exciting actually expanding the shipping video, adding in the performances, and just adding in some extra little elements that the feedback has been really strong on. So I know you guys really enjoyed Kev Quigley last week, and he sang us a really great Rory Gallagher song. And this week we've got Stephen McCool, so you've got to wait for that. So if you don't know what the shipping video is, it's just the time every week that we look at all our guitars that we've built in the week previous that are shipping out around the world. We look at all the different countries that are going to, the names of the people, look at the guitars that they've chosen and the different specifications. So it's just a really nice way to see the variety of Emerald guitars and just all the different options that people can custom order. So we've also been expanding it into using it as a little bit of a news platform and telling you about little things that are going on in the background. So a lot of good things happening at the moment. The best thing that's happening here right now is it's actually got warm. It's been a horrible summer so far, but I've got the shorts on and the sun's out, so that's great. Everybody's in a better mood. The other big thing we have is the pursuit of inspiration. So please go and have a look at the Pursuit of Inspiration trailer that has just been put out on YouTube. So if you're watching this on our Facebook channel or on YouTube, go find it. It'll be on both, but please have a look on our YouTube. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that maybe a little bit later on what's happening with Pursuit of Inspiration. So let me think, what else have we got going on this week? Yeah, we've just been out on the road filming little bits and pieces for that, so that's been fun. And the factory is almost coming towards completion. So we've moved into, I guess at this stage, 80% of it. We've got one room upstairs that's still to be finished, and we're going to show you a little bit of the factory today. And so hold on towards the end. Stephen's going to take us on a little bit of a tour. So anyway, let's talk to Stephen. So Stephen, it's good to have you joining us today for a song.
Hi, no, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been working up the guitars for a while on here, so it's good to actually get to play a full song.
Yeah, so this is your space really. So you're shipping Steve.
No one on here is shipping Steve, is right? Yeah.
Shipping Steve. So you're the guy who takes all the guitars, polishes them up, does the final quality checks, gets them in the box, makes sure they're right, and maybe after this at the end we'll have a look at what you do and where you do that in the rest of this area. But yeah, I mean, way before you joined the Emerald team, you were a full-time touring musician.
Yes, I was touring America and Australia, UK. We toured with Hosier and stuff like that. With my band Ports. Well, we were called Little Bear at one stage, and we had to change our name due to copyrights. But yeah, just life on the road mostly before I came on here.
So it's a big change to be in here.
It is, and you kind of count your blessings a wee bit because, when you make the decision for me personally, it was like, I've got kids, I want to kind of stay at home. I count my blessings to, doing something that involves music, whereas you could stray so far away from that,
Yeah.
But here, I'm still surrounded by music. I'm still doing something within the musical realm.
Yeah, and you probably get to play more than anybody else in the building because, and I sometimes do have to remind Stephen that he's actually here to check guitars, not just to play them. But it is a temptation, isn't it?
I've kind of trying to finish a song a week, so maybe a few notes on each guitar as I'm going through the week.
On every guitar. So I think we just jump into the song, and we'll maybe talk a little bit more afterwards and find out a bit more about how you actually do the final quality control and check the guitars. So take it away, Steve.
Night dries in like ink against the glowing sea. Brother, I swam, a part of you, a part of me, fixed to the land, motionless I call to thee. Yeah, we're blessed by the leaves and the autumn sky surrounding me. Money don't mean a thing when the devil's got a hold of me. I'd sing, but then he set me free. Oh, the devil's got a hold of me. Born with a story, a vagabond that sleeps at sea. Back in no cars, nor any man who crosses me. Brother, I know these few things will set you free. Yeah, we're blessed by the leaves and the autumn sky surrounding me. Money don't mean a thing when the devil's got a hold of me. I'd sing, but then he'd set me free. Oh, the devil's got a hold of me. The devil's got a hold of me. I'd sing, but then he'd set me free. Oh, the devil's got a hold of me.
How good was that? That was just so nice. And you know, we talk a lot about inspiration around here, and hence our new series that's coming up, The Pursuit of Inspiration. But you know, I've always been kind of conscious to surround myself by things that inspire me and people that inspire me, and that's a great example of it. You know, we're in a building here that has, I don't know, 8 or 10 really great musicians, and when we hear them singing and we hear them playing on our guitars, it really just lifts everything. It really does add to the overall inspiration in the building. So thanks, Stephen, for that. And also, I have to give him a big plug. If you want to find music by Ports, definitely go to Spotify, go to their YouTube channel, find them on Facebook, all those different places. You will not be disappointed. Some beautiful, beautiful songs there. So, into guitars. So this week we've got a really nice selection, a couple of nice Virtuos there, and what have we got? I see a lefty, I see 2 lefties, nice big X30, another X30, 4 nice X30s there, a nice little ukulele, some X7s, so really great selection. So it kind of goes right across the range, which is always nice. But the first ones we're going to start on is the Virtuo, and the Virtuo is something that we've been kind of focusing on this month. We've been running some new content, and yeah, the Virtuo, if you haven't seen it before, you must have been hiding under a rock, but this is the guitar that we have been really excited to introduce. We introduced it, I guess, almost a year ago now. Well, not quite, I guess middle of September last year we introduced this, and this guitar is just bridges the gap very much between electric and acoustic worlds. So it's an acoustic instrument, an acoustic body, molded from carbon fiber like all our guitars. It's been given Fishman Fluence pickups. So as an electric guitar, it's got that great sound that the Fishman Fluences allow us to have. Those great humbuckers, but also with a great resonance, because you're getting the resonance from the acoustic body as well. So it kind of adds extra warmth and depth even into the humbuckers. Then we've got the piezo pickups that are picking up the strings here, the acoustic pickups. and we've also got MIDI connectivity. All can be blended together, and it's just the most incredible, most versatile guitar out there. It really has some incredible sounds, and we've been loving the different content that people have been sending into us, different performances on this instrument. So yeah, it's great as an electric, it's great as an acoustic, but it's really great when you start and blend all those sounds together. So yeah, very, very cool guitar. So this one's going to Thomas in Wisconsin, and the veneer on here is Pau Ferro. We've got the black hardware, that black chrome hardware, which we use quite a lot on our guitars, and goes so well with carbon. Fretboard inlay is our Celtic knots, executed in silver with the gold figure of 8 on the 12th fret. And back and sides is our black carbon. Black carbon's always a really nice popular choice. It goes well with all the black hardware. So now we have another Virtuo. This one's going out to Indiana, to John in Indiana. This is Clara Walnut. And this Clara Walnut has beautiful coloration and a really nice flame pattern. So we've had a nice selection of Clara Walnut over the last while, and a new veneer that we added into our range. Here with gold hardware, just really lifts it. It complements the light brown tones and then just really pops. Then combined with the gold vine inlay running up the fretboard. And back and sides is amber, and amber and the gold always go nice together. Beautiful combinations. Now, first of 2 lefties this week. So this is going out to Kyle in Pennsylvania. So the X20 is the one model that we do as a lefty. I've been asked a lot actually from lefty players, can we do a Virtuo? And it's something we're thinking about actually, because there's been quite a lot of requests, but it's a big project because we have to build an entirely new mold. So everything that we've got for this, we would have to duplicate and mirror essentially. So it's not an easy thing to build a lefty guitar, so that's why at the moment we only have the lefty X20, but we also have the lefty Amicus that's going to be added onto our website very soon. Yeah, X20 lefty, finished in green carbon, and the Celtic vine inlays running up the fretboard there in silver, and green carbon back and sides. Pickup on this is our high vibe pickup system, and if you haven't been watching the shipping videos recently, the high vibe is our smart guitar system that really gives us an awful lot of different tonal options. So next one, actually we'll go to the other lefty, why not? We'll go to Richard in Alberta, another lefty player, another X20, and this one is Harp Ukulele. And Harp Ukulele is a really unique veneer that we have here, and it's got all these different colorations. It's like the blacks and the light woods. We sometimes stain it, but this is entirely natural, the natural coloration in it, and yeah, it looks so good. The black really works well with the black fade that we put around the edges, and then black carbon back and sides. And pickup system in this one is the LR Bags element. It has nice little volume and tone control mounted discreetly there in the sound hole, and that's an undersaddle pickup system. Then we have Charles in Georgia. So this is another X20, and this one's a beautiful piece of black quilted maple. So it's dyed black, and then whenever we sand into so we do a dyeing process where we dye it prior to molding, and then we sand into the surface, and we get these different colorations depending just on how dense the wood is. It takes the black dye in different ways, and it really it has a very dynamic look. And what's great about it, that process, is you still get all the three-dimensional effect with it. So yeah, so it brings it. It's not really black. We call it black dyed, but it's really more of a silvery gray. So it's a combination of the black with a lighter colored wood, gives it the sort of that silvery anthracite kind of look, and it's just so beautiful. Works so well with carbon, complements well with the black carbon bridge and the black carbon back and sides. So and again with the high vibe pickup system. Then another black carbon. This one's going out to Wolfgang in Germany. And this is one of our big jumbo guitars, the X30. And I think this is the guitar that I always talk about the ergonomics the most in, because this is one of the largest jumbo guitars on the market. It's slightly larger than a Gibson J200, but it's way more ergonomic in that we've been able to contour the sides here, add in the bevels, got the forearm bevel here, a little extra bevel here to give you access up. And just the overall shape of this guitar just allows it to feel really comfortable. So while it's one of the biggest guitars you'll ever play, it's certainly not the most uncomfortable. It's a very comfortable guitar to play and has a really big, huge sound. And that was the motivation behind building the Jumbo. I wanted to have a guitar that just, you know, had a sound that matched its size, and that is really what this has. And I remember stringing one of our X30s up, the very first one that I made. And you never know what a guitar is going to sound like until you've made the molds, gone through all the process, and then made the first one out of it. So you're 6 months in before you actually get to hear it. And my first impression was wow. And that's what I hear from so many other people since. It's a guitar that you feel as much as hear. It's just got that big bassy sound. And yeah, I love the tone of an X30. So this one is in black carbon. And it's got our adjustable bridges here with the volume control mounted in the sound hole here. So it's one very nice little discreet volume control. And fretboard is our gold vines with leaves. We've got gold hardware. There's something really nice about the black and gold together. I think that's a nice combination. And again, black carbon back and sides. Here we have actually have a pair of guitars. So this is a pair of guitars going to Stephen in Michigan. And the first of them is an X20. And this is, actually I almost said Candy Stripe Padauk because it has a little bit of that look, but it's actually a Spalta Chen Chen. And yeah, so the Spalta Chen Chen has just these lovely warm, kind of almost rust color lines running through it. And very, very nice color combinations on that. It's a little bit different than some of the other pieces of Spalta Chen Chen that we have, because a lot of the pieces that you'll see another one that have a lot of the lighter color wood in the center. This is really nice, actually. The darker wood on this. We've got the Celtic knots running up the fretboard, and an amber back and sides, and a high vibe pickup system. So the second one that he has also ordered go along with this is a great pair. So an X20 and an X30, and that makes a lot of sense. So, you know, two very different guitars, and tonally they complement each other really well. So this one is finished in Pau Ferro, and a really nice piece of Pau Ferro it is. It's got this lovely light V running down the center here, and the fretboard inlays are the Celtic knots done in white here. Stock veneer then to match, amber back and sides, and again with the high vibe pickup system. Now we have Mark in New York. So Mark has he's gone for an X30 also, and this one is Zercotti. We've talked about the Zercotti over the last few weeks and how it's almost like a patchwork. And this is a really interesting one here. I love the positioning of this, and I'm assuming that this is how he positioned it on our 3D builder, which on the 3D builder allows you to take that piece of veneer, which would be coming off a slightly larger sheet, and just find the right positioning where the pattern just sits beautifully. And here I love how it sits with this pattern section sitting on the bottom of the guitar, and the slightly plainer section up the top, but still with great grain pattern that's running down either side of the neck here. But yeah, that looks wonderful. Very nicely framed on the guitar, very unique. Inlay is white Celtic vines with leaves, and an amber back and sides. That's a really standout instrument. Now Rito is a name that we've seen in our shipping video, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. And Rito has a very fine collection of emeralds. and this is the latest one coming through for him. So this is an X30 Nylon. Now that's quite unusual. We don't do a lot of nylon guitars on the X30 platform, but we have done a few and they all work really, really nicely. This is spelled the Chen Chen, and just like the other one, you can see the similarities on the side here, but on this other one, it just doesn't have that light wood. So that light wood creates a lot of drama up that center, really frames the neck very well, and makes a very, very striking guitar. Celtic vines in gold up the fretboard, and as with all of Rito's guitars, it's got the gold hardware, and it's got a blue back and sides. So that's a great contrast. So such a contrast to the top, and yeah, very, very interesting guitar. Now, down to the bottom row. So we've got Greg in Colorado. So here we're into an X10, and this is a piece of Pau Ferro, and a lovely piece of Pau Ferro with great colors and character going on in it. And you'll see sometimes in the veneers are, you know, natural pieces of wood. So with these veneers, you can see how it's got these little splits that were naturally in the wood, and they're, you know, they're left as part of it. And sometimes you can see little hints of the carbon that actually is underneath it. But that's part of the character of these pieces, and it just shows that it is real natural wood. The fretboard inlay on this is the gold Celtic knots, amber back and sides, and then high vibe pickup system again. So you can see how popular the high vibes are at the moment. So let's go out to Greg in Colorado. Then we have William in Massachusetts, and that's this is another name that I've seen actually regularly on our shipping videos. I'm sure he's got more than one emerald at this stage. And this is a really nice combination. This is Koa. And normally the Koa is done entirely plain, but with this we've added a red burst, and it just really works nicely with Koa. It's something we've done for a few customers. It's not something that's on our website, but it is something that on special request we've actually done, because the combination of the materials actually work nicely together. It's beautiful Virtuo, red carbon back and sides, the black hardware, and then this is red inlay running up the fretboard, and red vines. Then we've got David in California, another beautiful piece of black quilted maple, and again just shows that great holographic look of the quilted maple. Silver rings running up the fretboard, black carbon back and sides, and a high vibe pickup system in there. So the X10, I guess that was the first guitar that I made that was really designed to be more of a crossover between electric and acoustic worlds, and was very successful. I think unfortunately it's been a little bit overshadowed by the Virtuo since we've launched the Virtuo, but it shouldn't be, because they sit in very different worlds. So I think we need to maybe highlight to people again just the great benefits of the X10. It's just it's a really comfortable, nicely contoured body. So it's a great stage guitar, has a good depth to it, so it has good acoustic projection, slimmer neck profile. So our standard on a lot of our guitars is 1 3/4. This is a slightly narrower neck profile here, and really nice sort of electric feeling neck. So yeah, it's a really great guitar, and we've got a whole different host of pickup options for this guitar as well. So here it's a high vibe, but you can have that with MIDI and the various different pickups on this. Then we've got our X7. X7's been very popular over the last while, and it's a great travel guitar. It's a great guitar for I guess, you know, just playing around the house. It's a great guitar if you were playing in a band. It's a great guitar. It's a great guitar for everything you want to do, really. Very versatile, great tone, and this one here is finished in beautiful Koa. And it's really nice. The flame pattern in the center of this is quite extreme, beautiful flame, and then the darker sections off to the sides here. Gold Celtic knots, gold hardware, red vibrant weave back and sides, and that really works. It's there's something about koa. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's a brown wood, but something about it always seems to work with red. Some of the other colors, maybe not so much so, but something about red and koa. It just it seems to hold it. Maybe because there's some lighter, almost reddish hues going on in the wood. But yeah, it's a combination that I've seen a few times that I've thought really works. And you can see here the koa with the red burst. I think it's the same thing of why it works with the red burst as well. So yeah, that one's going out to Guy in Grimsby, sorry. Now look at this. This is another X7, and this is redwood burl, and this is actually really unique piece of redwood burl. The patterning on this is quite different than all the other pieces that we've seen coming through. And if you've been watching the shipping video week after week, yeah, you'll pick up on this. This is not like the other pieces of redwood burl. A lot of the redwood burl has some really cool patterns in the actual burls, but there's something really unique about the grain lines that are running through this one. It's almost like, it's like you know, the little lines on a map, you know, those altitude lines. There's a proper word for those. I can't think what it is, but anyway, those lines. My geography was never that good, but yeah, it's really, really interesting. Amazing pattern, and it's got the gold rings on the fretboard inlays, gold hardware, and black carbon back and sides. I love that. So that's going to Kenneth in Pennsylvania, and then the last one that we have going out is going to Donald in Florida. And you might have seen the Harp Ukulele we sent out a couple of weeks ago to Gracie Terzian. I think there was another one that went out last week as well to the guys from Walk Off the Earth, which is going to be really cool. Something coming out with that soon. And yeah, so the Harp Ukulele, it's our little baby. It's the smallest of our family, and has a great sound. It's a tenor ukulele, but then has 4 harp strings. So yeah, you just get to play your accompaniment along with your regular tenor ukulele parts. This one's finished in that beautiful green carbon. And yeah, go and have a look at some of the demo videos. Gracie Terzian actually created a really nice demo video where she talks about how she designed it. So it's a video where she talks about the Harp Ukulele, and she talks you through the process of the 3D builder. So I would encourage you to go and have a look at that. You'll find it on Gracie Terzian's YouTube channel. So so that's it for this week for our custom guitars, and now we'll have a look at our stock guitars. So so now we're going to take a look at our stock guitars. So these are the guitars that have been taken out of our stock section, purchased by you guys, and because they've already shipped out by Stephen, they're no longer in the building for me to show you in person, so that's why we started doing them and putting them on this screen. So we still get to give you a shout out. And this is also a good time to tell you that if you've been enjoying this content, then please like and subscribe and share and spread the word around. But very important to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then that way you're going to get to see our content on a weekly basis and a regular basis. And we've got a lot of new and interesting stuff coming out, so you really want to do that. So we've got this one going out to Matthew in Florida, and it's an X10 Slimline. So we've seen 3 Virtuos in this week's shipping video. So the X10 Slimline is the same body style as the Virtuo, but it's designed with more acoustic properties in mind. So so we don't cut any pickups into the top. We use a Crevo humbucker that sits on top of the top. And on this one, it's designed really with a humbucker that's there to complement that acoustic sound, and it's all to bring out acoustics. But yeah, really cool instrument. Here finished in vintage Tamo ash and beautiful amber color. Next one we've got is going to Michael in North Carolina, and he's got this beautiful little amicus. So the amicus is our short scale 12-string guitar, 18-inch scale, and it's basically like having a capo on your 10th fret. So gives you a really cool sound. It's like a mandolin, but so much more as well. This one's finished in Pau Ferro, and it's got a red transparent finish as well, which is really nice on this guitar. Then we've got Christopher. He's based in England, and he's got a Virtuo with, again, that black quilted maple that we've seen. So it's really starting to become very popular, and you can see why. Black hardware, black quilted maple. That's a very attractive Virtuo. So the last one we have is Bill in Missouri, and this beautiful big jumbo X30, finished in the Tamo ash, and again with that amber burst and gold hardware. So that's a beautiful guitar to finish on. And what I wanted to do is just maybe have a look at our stock section of our website, and let you see where these guitars are bought from and how you would go about doing that. Okay, so if you go to our website, you're going to be able to find all the different things we have in there. We've got a lot of video content. We've got all the different product profiles. We've got the 3D builder in there, which you definitely have to check out. But if you're not patient enough to wait for a custom build, then we have the stock section. And we've been working really hard over the last while to try and build our stock up. After COVID, after our lockdown, I think we were down to having about maybe 10 guitars left. And we like to have a good selection of guitars available in our stock. So we've built that right back up again over the last year. And I see now we're up at 183 guitars in our stock section. And while that seems like a lot, whenever you break it down by all the different models, I still see a lot of gaps where we want more options available for you guys. So we're probably going to try and build that up a little bit further still. But yeah, the guys are working hard to add new content in there weekly, and so keep an eye on it. It's always changing. But if you go into that stock section, 183 results, don't worry, you don't have to scroll through them all. If you know what you're interested in, if you've maybe been in the 3D builder or the rest of the website, you can choose the model you're interested in, filter by the different models. You can select by the type as well. So if you're interested just in 12-string guitars, or say all the left-handed guitars, or just 6 strings, you can filter by that. So the filtering is very useful. Okay, so if you have a look here on the site, you'll see that there's quite a variety of all the different models. We like to have different colors and different models all available for you on there. But if you go into the selection, let's say select the Virtuos, and that's going to bring you up just the Virtuos that are in stock. So apparently we have 48 Virtuos in stock, so really nice selection there. So many different finishes, carbon finishes. That's a really nice piece of Pau Ferro there. Beautiful Koa, black carbon, and there's a nice flame maple. So yeah, you get the point. Okay, so let's have a look around the rest of the shipping area, just to give you a bit of context. And so this is the area that we put all the guitars, mostly for filming, but also it's where Steve puts all the guitars as well whenever he's preparing them. And this is the newest area in the factory that we've just completed. I think we're only here 3-4 weeks now, and it's a huge improvement than what we had before, isn't it?
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
It just makes you take a bit more pride in your area, and you know, even those lights, you can see everything, especially for me doing quality checks, and that, you know, I can see
it all helps.
Everything, yeah. It all helps.
Yeah, so we were before up in kind of a loft area up in the top of the building here, and it was fine. It was a good space, but yeah, it just wasn't as attractive as this, and the lighting wasn't quite as good. So it's so much nicer. We have outside light as well. We're looking out on the trees, so it's a beautiful space to be in. But yeah, so talk us through a little bit about your process. So here we're putting together one of the boxes. Yeah. And we ship with a very heavy duty cardboard box.
That's right. Yeah. So basically, after the guitar is quality checked, and usually goes for the video, or if it doesn't, it goes out to stock, we'll quality check it, make sure everything's good. The next process is then, I'll have everything lined up that's going to ship that day. I'll get my boxes ready. So this would be our medium-sized box.
Okay.
So what we tend to do is we have their Virtuo boxes, we've got the small boxes and medium boxes. You can kind of get virtually most of the guitars on the medium box.
Yeah. And they're virtually indestructible, and they have to be, you know, we're making guitars that are incredibly strong, and we ship them out around the world, and we're confident in the strength, but putting them in a really good cardboard box is as much about protecting the case as anything else.
Yeah.
And but yeah, thankfully they very often, or not very often, always get there in good condition.
Yeah.
And despite the best efforts of some of the shipping guys, we did have one guitar that had a forklift put right through the side of it somewhere in Australia, but the guitar was actually still playable.
Still playable, which is a
But
good sign of the.
we sent that guy a new guitar. But yeah, let's have a look at what you do over here. So this is your little corner, and this is where you do your final quality check. So so the guitars, when they're coming to you, they've come off the Plek machine. They've had all the components and had their setup. So really, you're just getting them, just making sure everything checks out as it should be and is within parameter. So you want to talk us through the different steps that you'll go through now, and you have your nice light there.
So well, basically I'd start off and I would tune the guitar, and then I would check the intonation. It's the very first thing I'll do straight away. Just listening for any discrepancies and stuff like that. So, but usually when I'm checking the intonation of the guitar, I would stick around 5 cents. You know, if it's any more than that, I'll make an adjustment here, an adjustable cycle. Then I would move on and I would check the knob height. So then I would check the height of the knob there and just go through each one of them. Once that's all okay and everything is fine in that regard, I would make sure the truss is set to the correct parameters. I would then go through the whole guitar and check that there's no fret buzz. So once that's all okay, I go through the guitar, and then I'll check the pickup system. I'll check that everything balances okay with the piezo and the K&K in this guitar. So just make sure it balances out okay, nothing's too loud. The pickups are fairly evenly balanced, and all the pieces are as they should be.
Yeah, and it's all those little small details that make all the difference. And I think since we started entering the Plek process, probably your job is a lot simpler now. You don't really have much by final adjustments to ever have to do, so it is more checking rather than ever adjusting.
Just checking, you know, in the off chance that something is off, and it's very rare.
Yeah,
it's a Plek machine now.
Yeah, and small little details.
Yeah.
And then you're also checking the finish quality as well.
The finish quality, so once everything is okay in that regard, you know, in the setup regard, I would then go through the whole guitars. So I generally start from the bottom and work my way through. So we'd start, you know, by looking at the paint and kind of the general aesthetics of the guitar. I would look around for any scratches, any scuffs, any swirl marks, any knocks or bangs, and make sure that I check the nut is quite even. Make sure the nut's set and it's flush with the guitar and it's not off. I'm checking the truss rod, so we just kind of generally start from here, work our way around. I would feel by my finger. It's always a good sign, so you're looking for any bumps or anything like that. So while I'm doing that, I'm also looking as well. I'm making sure that the frets are all, you know, they're all even and fine. And I look at the fret markers, make sure everything's, you know, even. And then I go around and I would look at the actual fretboard itself, make sure there's no knocks or scratches or anything that's just not passable. And go up around the guitar. Just have a quick look, make sure it's got the right hardware on it. So I make sure, you know, it all matches.
And you're always cross-checking as well off the order sheet as well to make everything.
I use Platinum Plus as well.
Yeah.
So then I'll go around the whole guitar, again making sure, you know, the best thing about having these new lights in this light, you've got 2 different sets of lights looking at the guitar. So I can just move the guitar through both of those lights. And the great thing about those lights is that, you know, you get these lines that go through the whole guitar.
Yeah.
And you can sort of pick out any discrepancies.
Yeah, it really helps, doesn't it? It just penetrates down into the finish and just lets you see all anything that's going on there. And it's been a great help for us, but also it's painful, you know, whenever sometimes there's things you'd like to not see, but when you see them, we have to fix them. and we have a very strong tolerance and that we work towards on this. So yeah, so that's hopefully that gives you a good insight into what happens here. And you know, so it's not just taking a guitar off an assembly line and throw it in the box. There's a lot of time taken, and you probably spend nearly an hour on every guitar.
Oh, easy.
Just getting it all right and wiping all the fingerprints that I put on it during the shipping video, wiping them off, and getting them all nice.
It's strange what happens in your eyes, like you're trained to something, everything just stands out eventually.
Yeah, if we've probably just ruined you now. You scrutinize everything.
I dream of carbon fiber.
But you get to play every single guitar. You play every note on every guitar, and so that's a nice thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. You know, as I said before, like I could be quality checking and I could start with, you know, a nice chord. I'd play a nice chord and I'd be like, oh, that's nice. But I mean, I couldn't spend my whole time writing a song on this guitar. So I'd say by the time I'm done hundreds of guitars, you know, I've probably got a song written.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I've seen songs coming out of the shipping area. So so that's it. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of extra insight into what we're all about and what happens behind the scenes. You know, it's not just a polished video that we do in front of that. There's you know, there's people behind us making this happen and getting your guitars ready to go out. So so next week we've got another member of our team that's going to perform for you. We've got Miro, and Miro is the guy who puts the frets in your guitar. So he works in our preparation area. He levels the fretboards, preps the fretboard, and puts in the frets. So so he's going to come sing us a song, and that's going to be another great thing to look forward to. So thanks for watching over the last few weeks, and we really enjoyed moving into this new area, and both from a production standpoint, but also for recording these videos. And we've really been enjoying the feedback and the enthusiasm that we're getting from you guys. So a reminder again, if you've watched this far through, then you must have liked what you've watched. So please subscribe and you'll see it again next week.